I'm Veronique, I'm 37 years old, and I'm from Moncton, New Brunswick. I first heard about CCA-TCM from a co-worker. Actually, I work on the ambulance back in New Brunswick, and my co-worker owns also a side business, Maritime Floats, and he was telling me about the acupuncturist that he had just hired. And I got really curious and interested. I started to look online, and he had told me where that person had studied. And that's kind of basically how I found the college, from word to mouth, from someone who had studied here previously. Well, I was already in healthcare to begin with. I've always been interested in healthcare. I've also always been interested in holistic healthcare. It was kind of always just in the background. And everything just lined up. Then I heard about that acupuncturist that had just been hired by my coworker, started to look into it, and then I found the college. And I was hooked. I really wanted to learn more about acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and I took the leap. I took a leap of faith. It felt like it was time for a career, a progressive career change for me, and yeah, the transition just has been good. Yes, so for the second year of my acupuncture program, I've been traveling every week from New Brunswick to Nova Scotia. So in order to make everything work with managing time at work, time with my daughter, and time with my studies, while traveling every week back and forth, a lot of time management involved, making sure that I have an overlook of my week, see how my week is going to be planned out. Trying to be very organized, but it's all doable as long as it requires a little bit of preparation. Well, there was definitely, for preparation, there was the financial part involved, making sure that I was financially ready to take that leap, because being financially prepared really does help prior to starting the studies, although I know everybody's situation is different, but I was very lucky and fortunate in that way that everything was lined up really well. So the financial preparation was one, also making sure that I was working full-time on the ambulance at the time. So in order to have enough time for the studies, I had to cut back a little bit on work. It's time management, that's what it comes all down to. So that was another part involved, making sure that I had the proper amount of hours at my job and the proper amount of hours for my studies. And as well, my daughter at home. I have a 9-year-old little girl, and I wanted to have some time with her. So just time management, making sure that everything is divided properly. So for the first year of my studies, I didn't have to travel at all because I'm in the blended delivery program, which the first year is online, the second year requires to be on site. For the second year of the program, I've been traveling back and forth every single week from New Brunswick to Nova Scotia for my days of class, which is 3 days a week. The way that I've been doing it, I was very fortunate. I have another friend of mine that's studying in the program. It's really helpful when you have people that you can team up with. We've been carpooling every week for the past year, splitting the cost of things, and we were very fortunate to find a hotel that was able to give us a really good deal on splitting the cost of a room that we would rent 2 nights a week. And that's how I've been doing it, the driving back and forth for the past year, splitting the cost of things with a friend, and we made it as fun as we could. It's been a very fun adventure. So the transition from working full-time and being at home all the time to to being a full-time student and traveling back and forth required a lot of preparation. But the transition went fairly well. It took a little bit of adjustment from the regular schedule, but change is always requires some adjustment anyways. But yeah, no, it went really well. Cutting back on hours at work a little bit and fitting in my studies was kind of an easy transition because I was so interested in the material that I was learning. Yeah, no, it went well. My advice would be do it because it's such a great learning experience. Studying acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine really gives you a whole different perspective on life in general and your health. It's the process to becoming an acupuncturist is life transforming in itself. The more practical advice that I could give to people who want to start studying in the program is try to be as prepared as you can with knowing how you're going to do it with work, life, at home with your family, and studies. It is very doable to do all of those things at the same time. The living proof is that I've done it, and there's other people on my course that has done it as well, and then you can do it too. Just some time management and a very positive attitude that believing that it can be done because it can.